I bring out peace and quiet out of you. Why are you delaying the
Yes, yes, you do.
So yes.
And one of my biggest fears in life is unfulfilled potential. So if you know you can do better, why limit yourself to
I've
been back here, I've been in the studio, I was online.
I
had my
yeah, it was online. You had your whole spreadsheet. Ali was
I
so
was
serious.
reading statistics.
Yeah. Hi guys. Good day, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching this from. Fun facts, this is our last episode for the year 2024. Am I hearing these claps? I mean, we've tried. It's been a very, very long year, months and months of discussing with founders, professionals across the field. So we've come to an end, and what better way to end the season than having the very first person we had our very first conversation with on the platform. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Ali Anwar. I'm not saying that. Guys, I'm so appreciative for Ali Anwar and to him. Because it's one thing for someone to see your vision and want to support it. And it's another thing for the person to be an excellent person as well. That means he saw something on this podcast and decided to be our very first guest. So Ali, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
I mean, how do you feel? Because very soon when we are on national TV or on billboards, you should be able to say, I was your first and last guest for 2024. How do you feel about that?
I feel good.
Abi?
Yeah, I feel very, very good.
We're going somewhere, Abi.
Yeah. I'm making a name for myself. Mom, I made it.
Mommy made it, please. So how are you doing today? It's a Saturday evening.
Yes, I feel relaxed and at peace.
Yeah. I bring that out of you, don't you agree?
Yes.
Say yes. Yes came too late. It came too late.
I was reading the question.
I bring out peace and quiet out of you. Why are you delaying with the
yes, you do.
So yes. Ali is also a professional colleague, and as you can see, he's also my friend. Today we'd just like to wrap things up nicely and neatly, have conversations about how the year has gone, the sustainability space, and just see how we're faring, how we're both doing individually, and as we close out the podcast for the year. Okay, so where do we start? How's your year been? I mean, today is the 14th of December.
Yes.
Yeah, how's the year been for you?
I recently saw one of my partners at work on her pad, and she had something that said 2024 goals. So she takes stock of goals for the year, and then at the end of the year ticks them off. I thought it was something that I should start doing. I should have done that before this so that I can answer better. But largely, I think I've had a good year. Lots of growth, which is what I wanted to do. Strengthen myself in the area of sustainability, learn more about climate, do impactful work. I think that's all you can ask for, really. Right?
I mean, I was looking at the bio you sent me, and I saw senior sustainability consultant, and in my head I was like, the last time you shared your profile with me, that senior was not there. Ali, why are you moving low key and you're growing up the ladder and you're quiet about it? So tell me about that.
I mean, it's just a consequence of hanging in there.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to be promoted.
That's big money, man. Ali will never ever buy me pizza. For sure, go ahead.
Okay. I think just as a consequence of working hard, putting your head down, I think I'm not a lucky person. So anything that's like get rich quick or a shortcut won't really work for me. So I've worked for a while, and slowly but surely the results are coming out. So
it's showing. Your work is showing. I love that for you. So where were you by this time last year? Because sometimes for you to be thankful, you need to be able to draw back and look back, right? So where were you this time last year? What were you doing?
I think this time last year I was waiting for your message to come in.
Oh,
Can you be a guest on my show?
Come on.
And I have so many people coming in.
I mean,
thought, okay. So I was the first. I didn't know that I was first for this year. I thought I'd be one of the third or so. I think just really trying to remember the headspace I was in. But I was very hopeful. Like, I had lots of dreams, lots of things I wanted to do to prove to myself. I would say I was very expectant. Really, yeah. And now it's more a piece of, I feel more calm. I think I was new in sustainability. So at this time last year, I was maybe a little over a year in. Most of my experience before then was cybersecurity and communications. So I had lots of interest in sustainability, but I didn't even know it was a viable career path apart from activism and things like that. So I was very, very expectant. I wasn't sure, but I knew that if there was knowledge to be gained, if there's work to do, I'm going to work hard and get there. But I just didn't have the technical skills.
Right.
Yeah. And I think I've worked on that.
Interesting. I know what it can feel like being in a space where you don't know much about, but you're expected to perform because you may not know, but it's going to be down there. But Ali works with one of the big fours, and you can imagine the workload and the expectations from someone like him and the job. So I can imagine being in that space where you're 1 year into sustainability and you have to prove yourself and see how far you've come. Like senior sustainability consultant, that's a big deal. Any room you enter, you just mention that. Of course, they're going to be in the mic to talk because they expect you've put in the work and you know the stuff by now.
But do I know myself by now? You can't stop there. Next is to become a manager, a senior manager, maybe become a partner. Who knows?
But the thing is that you never feel like you know enough, especially for the industry you work in, because there's always something bigger for you to meet or bigger shoes to fill.
Yeah, I think like you're speaking to a growth mindset, right? So you never can feel too comfortable. It goes up and down, and you feel that imposter syndrome. Then actually, maybe I know. Then ups and downs. But
fair enough. I remember us having our very first conversation earlier this year. And we were both discussing, the one I brought this, so I'm stealing it from you. We're discussing about what we would be conversing now at the end of the year. And you had said you wanted to grow, but quietly. And I was telling him, I want loud growth. I want the whole world to know me. Because of course I'm in the media space. If nobody knows you, you're not doing anything. How do you feel? How far have you gone in that dream of, by this time, by the end of the year, I want to have grown to a considerable length?
That's I think, right, it's a bit humbling to actually think I have achieved it, but not in the way that I thought.
Okay.
I thought, at the end of this year, I'd know a lot about the climate issue and maybe things like carbon markets and carbon credits, or maybe sustainable finance. I know a little about each of them, but I thought I would have more of a deep learning, but it's really been like a T-shaped learning. So I know a little about a lot, and I'm specializing in a few places. I wouldn't say V-shaped. So I'm very good with ESG and the different material topics on the ESG, and anything that's next to that. Now sustainability and the difference between sustainability and ESG, I know that. So it's like V-shaped. I'm specialized in one place, but it's opening up, and I need to do a lot more work to fill out the closed areas that are around me. But in those niche topics that I thought I would have learned, it's like if I am still here in Nigeria and doing work here, I don't really need to know a lot about that. There are people who do know a lot about that, but if I look back, it's day and night. I was thinking, looking at some of my maybe paper, like, who did this talk?
Wow.
Dot your eyes, cross your teeth and all that. Dot your eyes, cross your teeth. Yes, I usually say it wrong. I thought I said it wrong. Right. But it's been good. I feel happy. I've been back here. I've been in the studio. I was online. I had my...
Yeah, it was online. You had your whole spreadsheet. Ali was so serious.
Reading statistics.
I remember.
My sister saw the video and she was like, "That's not you. You're so calm, so proper."
Right. No, this time around, I said I'm going to set you up in a live studio so we can see who you truly are. All those composure you're doing, then it's not going to work. Right. But I heard you mention earlier that you had pivoted from cybersecurity. If there are 20 sustainability professionals in the room, maybe 10 of them pivoted. They probably didn't start from sustainability itself. Or even 15, if I dare say. Right. What's it been like leaving a line of work that you're most likely grounded in, well-studied in?
Yeah.
How did you know sustainability was a thing you wanted to do? Because I get that question almost every day. How did you know sustainability was you want to be like? How did you know? And what was that transition period like for you? Saying, okay, I'm interested in sustainability, let me apply. Or was it happenstance?
And take the leap, yeah. I think when we were in school, let me show my age here. Lots of talk was around CSR,
Right.
really, and then at the time also the SDGs were very, very new. So I think we had like a few teachers that were sort of interested in sustainability, and like I remember her coming into the room, Giti Najafi, came into the room and she's like, for the SDGs, this is it, and it looks very colorful, and this is the goal for the next 15 years, and it's very good goal, zero hunger. That's all. It's not something to aspire to. So it was very inspirational, and I was really hoping over time, as I get into career, I would see all these changes being put into place. But maybe you do know the stage. We're not really making so much progress around the SDGs. So we're even regressing in some of them. But the point being, it didn't seem like something you do if you're not working in the UN, to me, for whatever reason. And then with CSR, I thought, okay, so companies are doing something that is very, very good. I was impressed, even overwhelmed with CSR, that all companies actually sending from their own money to give back to the community.
Right.
But still, it didn't seem like something, maybe in the company, maybe to volunteer. That's the extent of it to my knowledge. But I was doing okay in cybersecurity. Just that as someone who's maybe driven by passion, I knew that I had like a cap. So outside of work, I don't study up on it, right?
Okay.
And one of my biggest fears in life is unfulfilled potential. So if you know you can do better, why limit yourself to that? And sustainability was something I used to read of. Or read about just by the side whenever I'm on LinkedIn or outside of work. And I thought maybe let me study and maybe go to school, do a master's, and try to read about sustainability and then see where the career path leads you. But luckily enough, in my office, in my floor, there was a sustainability team.
Yeah.
So I spoke to one of the team members and I was like, I'm really interested in sustainability. Can you tell me things to read? In my mind, let me read something, put together a thesis proposal, send it to a school. And she said, why don't you speak to the manager and see what he thinks. He can have more material for you. I think it was a setup, but he gave me a very good pitch, like, oh, this is what we do and this is it. And I think the best way I can explain to you at the time, my understanding was that cybersecurity is like mathematics. You have to follow this formula and you know the outcome. Everybody knows the outcome. To have like a secure system, to have your firewalls and do your vulnerability assessment test and all that. It's set. Whatever company, whatever your IT system is, your system, it has to follow the same.
1 + 1 is 2.
Yeah, you can't. Even after you're working, you can't just arrive at how let's audit that process. But sustainability was very open. It's sort of like English. Where it's like, well, tell me how you spent your holiday. You can't
gives you room
say
for expression.
Yes, you have to, look at the different stakeholders, what matters to me, So I really love that, and it fed into my need or want of like learning and researching, because as far as you can defend it and show how you arrived, how a company approaches sustainability, it can be different. Depends on maybe their resources, their interest. So yeah, it seemed to me like a place where that was open and you're able to learn and relearn and express yourself. So that's why I said I was very expectant, because and I guess I had very good leaders that were very patient with me, so I could take my time and find my feet. Yeah.
That's lovely. And to think your career in the sustainability space started with one of the big fours.
Now that you say that, wow.
See your life. Something that people work before they get in. Look at how lucky you are. You're saying you don't get lucky. Look at yourself.
Don't call me out on my...
Anyways, I was just piggybacking off what you just said. For me, I think it was the savior mindset. I have such a savior mindset. I can't explain it. But when I hear stuff like zero hunger, better healthcare, gender equality, it just sparks that savior mentality that I have, that we can actually do save the world. And that's the beautiful thing about sustainability. It gives you this bigger than life dream, and then tells you start pursuing it by doing the work, the grassroots work, pursuing organizations to live more responsibly, right? So I think that was my biggest attraction to sustainability. It's good to share that with.
And if I can ask, is that passion still there, or has it changed? Has
Oh,
it
it's
dulled a
very
bit?
much so there. Sometimes I have to even like come back to earth. All these things are dreamy. What to did first I was in Ogun State for an under the bridge initiative. That's what they call it. So these are Almajiri children that would otherwise just turn into riffraffs and become dangerous to society, right? So my friend and her friends, a group of friends, so they decided to pick up these children from under the bridge and start educating them for free. They give them learning materials, give them school uniforms. So I was there in Ogun State where this happens, and I was like, this is the dream. Seeing actual lives being transformed. I'm hearing someone that otherwise would not be able to speak English try to put everything together and communicate to me. And I was like, this is what sustainability is about. Real life on the go change, and just sparked that savior thing in my head again. I'm like, yes, I'm in the right place, right? So I get that every now and then, that feeling of, okay, we're actually doing something meaningful and impactful. So yeah.
Happy for you. That's good.
I know, right? So speaking of Nigeria, let's bring it back to this.
Okay.
Nigeria is almost the toughest place, in my opinion. I'm not well traveled. It's one of the toughest places to want to practice sustainability, because almost everything we preach gets contravened. Like, you go out and everything you're preaching is coming back at you. First of all, we're talking about no poverty, good health, well-being, and you just come outside and you're seeing even economic balance, that people are able to get access to finance, live comfortably. All of these things get negated in Nigeria every other day. But bringing it down to your personal experience, how has it been thriving in this country for the last 1 year?
How has it been thriving?
Thriving. Like, how have you been feeling being a Nigerian for the last 1 year?
Why don't you go first?
No. You want to set me up? No, I want to actually hear your feedback.
Do you know what? I think for the most part, I'm lucky. I'm in Lagos, but I'm not in Lagos.
Okay.
You know, I stay very close to my office.
Okay.
So I get to work. I don't actually get to be in traffic, and I mean, I see it, but
you
it's
walk
like
to work.
Yeah, I can. It's
Stop
like
it. You're annoying.
It's 7 minutes.
Come on.
So I wake up like 7:30 a.m. Quickly brush.
You're not the right
take
person.
a quick
Maybe
shower.
we should bring the cameraman to ask you this question.
And then by maybe 7:50, I'm already in the office. Like no stress. And then we'll see the work.
No wonder your skin is just glowing.
You know, I think the first week at the office they knew I stayed close, because when work was over, I was smiling, let's go home. I was angry. I was very happy about it. You still close. I'm like, how can you tell? Like, because you're excited. But in all honesty, like, I won't say it's disheartening, but you see on the faces of people, even those who are like cheerful now, times are hard. You can almost feel it. I mean, even if it's not happening to you, you go to the market, or just the indices, the level of what's it called now? Inflation we've had, prices. It's something must give. It's not like people are earning anymore. It's not like we can go beyond our means. So it's, I don't want to say too much, but it's been interesting, a challenging one.
Yeah, and in my professional opinion, it even affects the way people receive our message, the sustainability message. So you're telling someone, okay, don't litter the streets, conserve electricity. Before even going to conserve electricity, they're asking you, where's the electricity? This is the one that the grid has fallen for 1 full week. We've not seen light. What are you talking about? You're telling them conserve water, and you're saying which water, right? So I find that the more the economic situation of the country deteriorates, the harder it is to sell the sustainability message. That's my own opinion. You're saying, okay, treat people fairly, right? Economic indices, we're saying treat your environment fairly. Or we're even telling organizations, add more money to your CSR initiative. Spend more on CSR. And they're saying, oh, we have to increase salaries because the economy is so bad. Or we have to do transport, allowance for our staff. So which money are we using to help the environment, right? Yeah. So conversations around sustainability, in my own opinion, has become harder.
Yes, and that's true. I think the one through line or silver line into that is now they're looking at sustainability not just as I mean, it is to some companies like an expense, but now they're trying to actually generate value from it. So now companies are asking, well, how can I say access funding from an IFC? Where how do I get into the green bonds market? I think those are the right questions to ask, and it's not maybe they're not asking it from maybe a place of they want to do more, but it's from a place of necessity. But I mean, as long as we're asking the right questions, I think we're on the right track, right? I'm happy with that as well.
Yeah, truly. So there are different, what I'm hearing you saying is that there are different perspectives you can look at this from. Okay, it's not just what am I giving out, but what can I get as a result of giving out as well, right? That's a good perspective to have. Okay, so what has been your highest high and lowest low for the year? Professionally, I mean, I think there was one time I was working in an organization and it was an oil and gas firm where I used to work, and I was in charge of receivables, right? So imagine billing a client and you mistakenly remove 10. So let's say, because we dealt in dollars a lot, say you were supposed to bill a client $1.2 million and you mistakenly bill them $120,000. Mistakes that expensive, right? So I mean that throughout that year 2022, anytime you ask me what's your lowest, now I must mention it because my boss will look at me anytime I'm invoicing after that situation had happened and will say, please invoice the right thing. Did you have any of such lows working with clients, or maybe one mistake that you're like, anytime you remember you're like,
why you going past 1.2 and 120?
It's a mistake. You can forget 10, but it's very costly. It's very, very costly.
Why don't you add another?
Another one. That's also a bad mistake. Those who are trying to defraud them.
Yeah. So do I start with the high or the low?
Whatever you're comfortable with.
I think the high for me, I was opportuned to be what's the word I'm looking for now? One of the organizers for a youth sustainability forum, and I was able to then invite my friends.
I love it. I was there.
Oh, were you there? Really?
Excuse me.
You were there.
He had one cap. I'm going to put that in the video. He had one cap. He was
taking us through the recap of the day.
Looking very regal. I love it.
Yeah. So I think that was a really good high for me because I could take a step back and look at the event and see different connections I've made on the work and outside of work, especially with you. But within the sustainability space, I'm like, I actually have quite a few people that are sound, and I think some of them I even forgot to tell them that I was a person who gave their name, so they just got something in their mail and said, oh yeah, sure. It made sense to them. They didn't question it, so that was a really good one. Another one that was really high was that I was able to get into the AFC fellowship. As part of that, they work with Common Purpose, and there was a climate challenge. We're going to graduate, quote unquote, on Tuesday. So
next Tuesday.
Yeah, about 3 days from now, right?
Next Tuesday, yeah. Yeah, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah, 3 days from now, and we worked around solving the challenge, which was how do we incentivize African participation or the inclusion of African forests, wetlands, peatlands into the global carbon market, because we're underrepresented, and we account for about 7 to 11% of the global market, but then of the potential to be in the high 80s, So yeah, I worked with the cross.
Bring it in. My friend doing big things.
I worked with the cross continental team. I would call our group the Three Musketeers. So we just have group 1, 2, 3, Three Musketeers, because we have someone from Africa, someone from Europe, and someone from Asia, and we came to the solution. Not to give too much away, but it was basically to tokenize small inclusion. So the planting of a tree, you can get a token as a farmer, or you're using clean gas or clean cooking, and clean gas I think is good enough example. And so you get a token, and then companies can then buy those tokens, and you then get your cash. It was We're still working on it really, but it was a cool experience to really, truly like sit at the table and say, I'm trying to solve an issue that, the AFC is even trying to tackle. So it was a good one.
That's
That
a
was
big
a good
one.
high.
No, your highs are really high. Okay, so talk of your lows. Just give us one low. Yeah.
Is this just sustainability or personal life?
Anything.
Because personal life has to be sustainable as well.
You already told me about the personal life, but let me not cast you here. But go professional.
I mean, you have to have a good personality to be sustained. You can't just be sustaining.
If you want to share your personal problems with the people, sure, go ahead.
No. I think one of them was we had a project maybe late last year. Delivered deliverables to a client who are giving too much away, and after a while, you're supposed to see some outcome or at least see something on their website and stuff. But it felt like at the end of the day, the work we did was just dumped on a table or in a folder in Excel somewhere, and wasn't really used. And it felt sort of bad because we had pushed the client to allow us also implement and go all the way. Not just give you the documents. Let's also go all the way, because they don't have maybe a full-on professional in-house that can make sense of everything. There's a lot of data that goes into ESG and sustainability. But yet you just have that understanding that, well, you know what, about 3 to 4, 6 months of hard work, they really mean much. I mean, yes, they paid, but that's not the point. You really want to see
change.
Yeah, and be able to brag one how I did something for a client and see where they are now, But
I can imagine you thinking, was it not good enough? Why didn't they implement? I can imagine.
Yeah, no, I think it wasn't even the quality of work. It was more, like you mentioned, things are changing. So maybe bringing in somebody who can man that, maybe a social manager, then became not a priority. Now they're thinking, okay, well, let's pay our people a bit more. Let's do something. So there's a circumstance, really, or happenstance, whatever it is, but to have been involved and passionate about the project and see it not materialize beyond maybe just regulatory requirement, I thought it was a bit sad.
I can imagine. So like briefly, I think one of the biggest sustainability changes that happened to us as a nation was the introduction of the CNG. I took some time to go on their website to check, because the national consensus from, let's say, unlearned people is that why not solve the fuel situation instead of giving us an alternative? We have enough fuel to sustain us as a nation and not have to struggle the way we are.
Do you want to say what CNG means?
Please do the honors. I don't know. Same. I just know it's CNG.
No, I do know. It's
something gas.
Yes.
That's wild that we do not know.
Something natural gas.
Come on. I know it's coming, but it's not coming.
Annoyingly, I can see a document where it's written, and I just can't remember. I have some friends in oil and gas that will be very, very ashamed of
Well, sorry, guys. Imagine sustainability consultants
cut it out.
Not knowing what CNG means. But gas, natural gas. Right. So in general opinion of the situation, do you think CNG has the potential to not just transition Nigeria to more sustainability, a more sustainable lifestyle? That's one. And do you think it's time? Is it a timely move, in your opinion? Just general opinion. It doesn't have to be professional.
So it's, things have to be practical, right? Say in terms of using biogas, CNG, methane gas for cooking, or maybe even biogas for cooking purposes, sure. But then it has to be a household that can afford stove. It's a specialized stove. So we're thinking of transitioning to CNG. Do we have enough of the infrastructure to support that, really? The thing is, I used to have a friend that's, if it's idea, just guys, let's just concepts.
Yes, can give you concept. People like that. They
can give you concept, but it has to be pragmatic as well. So how are we going to switch? What are the costs? And if we're saying we're switching, are we then, on the other hand, producing less or using less fossil fuels or petrol and diesel, as it were. Like, how does that happen? Are we stopping the sale of diesel cars and petrol?
What's the plan?
Yes.
Basically?
How is it going to? I mean, again, it's a very good initiative. It's generally seems that's where the world is trending towards renewables, but and it's not just the Nigerian government as well. You know, it takes stakeholders even from the global north to really support, because they have been promising lots of would I say funding in the different COPs to really get this transition to net zero going. But I'm undecided. I'm hopeful, but let's see how things play out.
I think I share your sentiments as well. I'm neither here nor there. As a sustainability consultant, I do agree that CNG is a more sustainable alternative to fuels, but are we there yet? I don't have enough information to draw a conclusion on that. I don't know that Nigeria is at the place to want to transition us fully or even halfly from normal fuels to CNG. That's my opinion.
I would have thought you'd say one of the biggest things would be IFRS S1, S2.
Is it?
Isn't it?
I don't think so. CNG, like, for professionals like us, IFRS affects us. It was a big conversation. But like nationwide, everyone is worried about the CNG. Even driving through Ogun State yesterday, I said I love CNG buses. I was so surprised. Like, it's actually more widespread than we would like to think it is. I saw a lot of, even heavy duty vehicles powered by CNG. I saw a lot of them. And then it's a conversation everyone is having. But in our professional space, of course, IFRS S1 and S2 is a big deal. How do you think people have been implementing so far? Have you been seeing positive reaction?
I think, funny enough, maybe more last year, when it was looking like it would be institutionalized and operational, maybe the word is this year. But FRC has given their timeline, right? So I think from now till 2027 or 2028, it's still voluntary disclosures. And then by 2027 or 8, I think it's 7, it becomes compulsory for certain types of companies. And then by maybe 2029 or so, MSMEs. There's no plan yet for when the government or government offices will start reporting. Give that a bit 4 more years, and it becomes assurance, limited assurance, and full assurance. So there's a timeline. So now I think there was a bit of panic when it was looking like 2024 is, in front of us.
Right, that panic was crazy.
I know people there are looking,
I know that. 3 years. Let's rest.
I may not even be there.
Don't kill me.
So it's on my stress, but yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so looking forward to 2025 now. Sometimes I mistakenly say 2025 because in my mind I've transitioned to next year. For young professionals or just professionals in general listening to this podcast and they are saying, oh, I want to hear what these guys have to say. I'm looking forward to next year. What should sustainability professionals or even enthusiasts interested in this space look forward to in the sustainability space for next year? What should be in their view, in their front view? Okay, this is going to be important. Let me read up on it. Let me get a certification on it. Tell us, Agba.
Am I an oracle?
You are the oracle. You are the Agba. How can you not know? Please.
I think the outlook for me from what I've seen and also read, again, reporting has been a thing, but now again, and that's why I asked about the IFRS S1 S2 standards, is that it's brought attention from the finance people, as it were, like the traditional financial reporting. Now we're seeing that, okay, it's looking like we have to integrate to sustainability reporting, so it's now becoming more topical. In saying that, we should be braced for greenwashing.
Oh my God!
Because the more people are saying,
right,
the more
that makes sense.
The more that they're likely to say what isn't there. I think in this space though, we should be seeing more again. Even we have CNG coming, we should be seeing more around circularity.
All right.
So the old model of use, or is it manufacture, use, dispose is gone, right? It's now thinking of how you can reduce your waste, remove, recycle, and then have value chain models where the output, or you have this waste to resource models where the end goal of, or the outcome of whatever market or industry it is then fits into a support. Support is not the word. Closely related industry. So an example is in the fashion industry. So jeans can then be used into furniture, so things like that. Or I can't remember the name of it, but I know in oil and gas, some of the byproducts can then be used to tar the roads, right? So instead of it being dumped into a waterway or a landfill, it becomes used or necessary.
Yeah, so circularity.
Circularity is another one. I think in saying that as well, one very key thing to look into would be supply chain sustainability practices. So you can't be just looking at what your company is doing. You have to look at your entire value chain, from your supplier all the way to your end users. Really, what is the carbon footprint of your operations or whatever your product is? Across the entire value chain. I think, back to your question, for people who really want to read and get into sustainability, I usually like to say the quote-unquote Bible for sustainability is GRI, one of the oldest, and also it's very easy to get into because it touches across every topic, right? So lots of free learning resources, UN websites, I think World Health Organization as well has their own website for free learning courses, right? So for me, if you can really understand from a more practical point of view, and there's a difference between sustainability and ESG, but we'll get into that. But from practical, if you can really get into GRI and understand what GRI is all about, then you can then plug and play into wherever you are. And as well, I think we don't even need more awareness. Most people, when think of sustainability, is okay. we need more awareness, right? But I want to say we need more doers. So wherever you are, if you're in finance and you can see, if you're in sustainability, there's sustainable finance. How does that intersect with you? So we need more people to do, but to join the cause, but from where they are. You can make more impact where you are. Stay where you are. Yeah, but be a ambassador for sustainability and ESG.
Right. So all of us do not need to be sustainability consultants. Exactly where you are, your passion can be tied to sustainability. If you're in tech, there's sustainability in tech. If you're in fashion, there's sustainability in fashion. Name it, really. Food, health, there's sustainability everywhere. So like Ali is saying, just find the intersection between sustainability and your passion or wherever you are. I love that. So as my closing question, I feel like we should make this a tradition, because next year, December, I'm going to come back and call you to come and talk about how the year ended for you. So
it may not be worth it to be on
please don't japa, because other people will be saying, next year, we'll not now see you by June. But next year, December, what should we be hearing? Or when you're back on this table or the chair?
Okay. So I think the year for me has been the foundational one, like I said, in learning and laying the groundwork across different things. I want to be more hands-on with sustainability, and it's beyond just being a consultant. I then want to do more things on the field. I currently volunteer with 2 foundations, even though the second one I haven't really started work on. Well, first is Connecting, and the second is Tony Elimuli Foundation. I haven't started yet, but I signed up and I'm just about to start. As a career mentor, right, for early stage career individuals. The second is I was the first, and now 3 of us, in-country ambassador for the wonders of this place. It was an initiative, now an NGO. focus on climate education for youth, for children. Recently got registered as an NGO in Ireland, which is very, very good. So I want to do more things outside, more things with the environment.
You want to get your hands dirty.
Exactly. Right.
Not just sit beside your decks.
Yes, I want to go out and actually live it, I want to do more, maybe even understanding the carbon markets and carbon credits, because the FC challenge I mentioned about really got me curious. One project that I was very excited that I worked on this year was called Beyond GDP Measurement.
Okay.
Like I mentioned, the SDGs signed in 2015. The hope is that by 2030 there's peace, prosperity, and progress for all. But the UN, and I think Antonio Guterres spoke on it sometime around September, November last year, 2023, that we're regressing on a lot of them, and we're stagnating and regressing for some of the goals. And it's like predominantly we're using GDP and other financial measures to monitor progress. And it's just, I think when I come back next year, I just say, okay, I've done a little work that laid the groundwork on the foundation. Now I've implemented one or two things that you probably would have heard of, but you didn't know it was from me, because we work in silence.
My guy,
we
don't make noise. Me, I want to make noise next year.
We only make noise on the podcast. Yeah.
Oh yes, we only make noise on the podcast. What do I want to see by next year ending? First of all, I'm setting myself up, but sure, why not? Our YouTube page to have grown to like at least 5,000 subscribers.
Let's do one. I think 5,000. I can
more,
count with that.
I beg rest.
It will be 6 figures.
Let's do 5,000. Let's not. I don't want to be embarrassed when we come back next year, December. But let's say at least the list is 5,000.
Where are we now?
We're not even at 2,000. We're struggling 1,000 something.
People will watch and know wrong now or wrong.
You're wrong. You're wrong for that. Please go and subscribe to the channel. Don't just watch. What else? Like, I want to have improved professionally again. Like, because doing the podcast, you're giving of yourself.
Yeah.
There's the deception of not growing because you're just giving out and giving out and giving out. By next year, I want to know my stuff. Know it like I know it. For example, how can we not know the meaning of CNG?
I know LNG is liquefied natural
gas.
gas.
I know LNG, but CNG, come on, what's this?
I was going to Google it or check. I know you brush it back.
Please Google it. We can't leave this podcast. I don't know what CNG is, but basically know my stuff, right? Not just have a voice, but have knowledge backing that voice. I want to have mentored a couple of people. There's an initiative coming from this podcast where we mentor young professionals, not just sustainability professionals, but young professionals across different sectors, give them guidance, right? They're not just you're dabbling in everything. I want to have done at least 6 sessions of that. So that's a promise I'm making to the next generation, just to help.
6 sessions of trainings.
Yeah. Well, mentorship in a sense for young professionals to give them like career direction. That's something we want to do. What else? I want to be happy, basically. There's a personal one, but it's for me, Ali. I want to be happy. I want to.
No, if it's anything you can tell me, you can tell the people.
Personal. No. Why will I tell you what will I tell them? What but yeah, I want to be happy. I want to be excited about doing this again in 2026. You know, you can come back and say about 2025 and I'm not doing it again. So I want to be excited about doing this continuously. I think that's it. And I want to be happy. Did I mention that? Yes, I did.
I don't have network, don't you?
I probably have network. Let's find out as we close this out. What CNG means.
I do know though. I literally have it on the top of my head.
Oh my god.
Compressed.
Please tell me what's meaning of CNG.
Compressed natural gas.
Period. We knew that. We just wanted you people to learn. It means compressed natural gas, and we knew that.
Bombastic side eye.
It was centrifuge or something.
Yeah, was.
Yeah, we're compressed. Yeah, makes sense.
I wanted to say certified.
No.
Certified natural gas. All right. I think. Do you have any other thing you want to? Please wish them a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everyone. When is this coming out?
next week.
Hi, me next week.
Me too next. Thank you so much, guys, for rocking with us for 8 months. I think we started much later. For rocking with us this 8 months. It's been an amazing 8,000 plus of you in 8 months. That's amazing, right? So thank you so much. Next year, expect much more from us. We're going to be doing more impact work, and we're going to be on the ground like Ali wants to be next year. We want to be on the ground, solving real-time problems and even helping entrepreneurs amplify their solutions through media. The next time we're going to be here, we'll be saying Happy New Year. I'm saying hi. This is 2025. So thank you all so much. Ali, please do the closing honors.
Thank you very much, everyone. I've been Ali Anwar.
Anwar.
Thank you.
Anwar.
This has been Agatha. Thank you very much. Do have a lovely New Year.
Bye, guys.